Continuing coverage now of the Waffle House murders. The accused killer is now in custody and spent the night in a maximum security cell.
And of course, this comes after those 2 rainy days of searching for Travis Ranking. News Channel 5's Dan Kennedy at the Maximum Correctional Center in South Nashville, where sources say he is behind bars there. And Dan, can you just sort of fill us out here for what's actually next in this case?
Yeah, so it could be a busy day tomorrow, Amy, when he is expected in court tomorrow morning. If he doesn't already have a private attorney by that point who could likely be appointed a public defender, we're just going to have to wait and see how all that shakes out in court. So that's tomorrow morning. But in the meantime, he's behind me in jail on a $2 million bond, and that's where he sits today. We still don't have a motive, though we did have a chance to ask Ranking for the first time about the incident yesterday.
Travis, are you guilty of murder? Why did you target that Waffle House?
No comment from Travis Ranking throughout the booking process and his court hearing. He didn't say much yesterday. He mostly remained expressionless. He also refused to talk to police and asked for a lawyer as soon as he was arrested. This video shows him being led in the booking where he had his mugshot taken and had his bond set at $2 million. For almost 36 hours, Ranking was on the run. It was a tip from a resident nearby that led to the big break in the case. Minutes later, officers rushed to arrest him at very close to his apartment complex on Mountain Springs Drive. A neighbor recorded that entire moment that the community had been waiting for. Metro Police say he was carrying a backpack and that it contained a loaded pistol when he was captured. So it is our understanding that this morning he is on suicide watch and will be for the next 72 hours. Again, he will go to court, or at least is on the docket for court tomorrow downtown, and then he'll be brought back here eventually after that 72 hours. Amy and Adam, he'll be kept in a cell alone. I'm also told he will have rec time alone. Reporting live in South Nashville, Dan Kennedy, News Channel 5.
Dan, thank you. And of course, on the other side of this tragedy, those who were senselessly killed.
As the days go on, we're learning more about the 4 people who died in this attack. They were all in their 20s. Torian Sanderlin, who you see right here, was a cook at the Waffle House. Some people knew him as T. It's unclear how long he worked there, but he did leave his mark on customers. A neighbor said her son would visit the restaurant to chat with Torian, who was described as being very lovable.
Oh, that he was really friendly and always joking around, and they just had a blast and enjoyed themselves up there.
Joe Perez was 20 years old and had just moved from Texas to Nashville with his brother to start a new life. Perez was working at Darrell Flood Logistics as a contractor, and according to his Facebook, was rated one of the top employees of the past month. His uncle tells us he was successful because of his positive attitude.
He was just so full of life. Was like he was like where I wanted to be, caring about family. Like, he was more family oriented. Could never take a smile away from him. Even in bad situations, he was always happy.
And 21-year-old D'Ebony Groves was a senior at Belmont University. You can see her right here. You could just tell by that picture she had a big heart. She was passionate about social work, and those who knew her say she was selfless and believed in serving others. D'Ebony's former basketball coach at Gallatin High School said she was a rising star who put everything else and everyone else before herself. Aquila da Silva was a musician, and people knew him as Natrix. His girlfriend, Tia Wagner, she was also shot, but she survived, and she tells us Natrix saved her by shielding her from that gunfire. The two were high school sweethearts, and she says she loved him more than the world. Wagner is still in the hospital, as is Sharita Henderson, and at last check, both of them are in stable condition at Vanderbilt.
And there were 20 people we now know inside that restaurant during the attack. And today, the man credited with saving so many lives will get more praise. News Channel 5's Blake Rosnowski continues our coverage from the state capitol. And Blake, James Shaw really has given a lot of people hope in all of this.
Yeah, absolutely. And all with a very humble heart. He does not think he should be a hero, but lawmakers will make sure that that's not the case. I'll explain more on that later. But he has been working ever since even he grabbed that barrel of that AR-15. He hasn't really stopped helping these victims. Take a look at this. He started this GoFundMe page to help the victims and their families. His goal was to raise $15,000, and I just checked that, and now it's at nearly $85,000. $10,000. And he says that money is going to go to help funeral costs for the people who died in that Waffle House shooting, and also to help pay for the medical bills of the victims from the shooting. We also learned that yesterday Shaw went to Vanderbilt University Medical Center. He met with one of those survivors and their families as well. And coming up later at just after 7:30, we'll have some details on how those other lawmakers plan to honor him. I'll have more on that coming up. Live at the Capitol, Blake Rosnowski, News Channel 5.
Thanks, Blake. And our coverage of the Waffle House shooting, the aftermath and arrest continues right now online. It never stops there. There you can find extended interviews, information on how you can help those victims, and our reports on that suspect, Travis Reinking. That's all there right now at newschannel5.com.
And now to new information on the search for the body of little Joe Clyde Daniels. The Dickson County Sheriff tells News Channel 5 that search teams will be back out today. It's been 3 weeks since deputies say Joe Clyde was beaten to death by his father, who is now charged with murder. Joseph Daniels has not told investigators where he put his son's body. It's unclear where the search will focus today. We're told it's possible the sheriff's office could put out a call for search volunteers, but we will let you know when that happens.